Okay, so let's help you with the last problem and also show you how to use formulas and sketch curves. So we want to find the z-score for Torsten. Insert equation and write z equals. Now we want a fraction. If you hover, it'll show you what we want. So we want math operations fraction. We have 3.07 is his score minus the mean is 2.7. Press tab to get to the denominator. It's 0.37. And press the right arrow key to get back to equals. So 3.07 minus 2.7 all over 0.37, that gives us 1. I press tab to escape this. And I made this really nice and large. You can change whatever size you want. I like to make it big and easy to read. You could change the color if you want. Okay. So, again, how we did that, we went to Insert Equation. You could also write it by hand if you think that's easier. To do that, and to sketch curves, you go to Insert, Drawing. You have to wait for it to load. There, it's loaded. You click on the line and go to the last thing, the scribble. And here, using your mouse, you can scribble anything you want. So we're going to write out, by hand this time, z equals 3.07. So also if you try to make the line too neat, it's not going to come out. So that's the only bad thing with scribble. No horizontal lines that are perfectly straight. All over the standard deviation, which was 0.37. So we had that z is equal to 1. And because I like colors, I'm going to copy it all and make it this blue. Save and close. Okay, so now it's there in your own writing. You can make it bigger, smaller. I'm going to make it smaller. And I'm going to press wrap text so then I can move it wherever I want. So I'll put it there. Okay, so you can pick which way is easier for you. Okay. So now we're going to draw. Let me make my music lower. Okay. So now let's draw what's happening here. So we have that Torsten, his z-score is 1, okay? So he's exactly 1 standard deviation above the mean. Let's draw a curve. I'm going to sketch it by using the scribble feature I just showed you. So we have to wait for it to load. And then, remember, we press scribble. So let's draw. Ooh, that does not look good. Let's try again. Let me make it lower so I'll have more space. Okay. Take 2. Let's see. Remember that most of the data is right between -1 and 1 standard deviation. Okay, that looks pretty good. Right. So here we're writing the z-scores. Remember, right dab in the middle, we have 0. We have 1. 2, 3. And on the opposite side, we have -1, -2, -3. So even though I didn't draw it that way, this curve is exactly symmetrical. So that means that there's 50% of the data to the left and 50% of the data to the right of the mean of 0. So I'm going to write that down here, that there's 50%, so that's going to help us. Now for this particular problem, we have that Torsten had a z of 1, exactly 1. And we want to know how many students did better than him, right? So let's show. Did better means above. So let's just scribble to fill in. I'm just using straight lines to show shaded area. And just my computer is a little slow because I have too many things open. Okay, so we want to find out the percentage who did better. So we want to know this highlighted region. So let's save and close this for now. Okay, yes, it's very large, so I'm going to make it a little smaller. Okay, so we need to remember this empirical rule. So besides for knowing that the graph is symmetrical, which we have in the mini lecture. Okay, so the other important thing to know to do this problem is that from z equals -1 to z equals 1, so within 1 standard deviations of the mean, 68% of the data is here. So most of the data is between -1 and 1. So I'm going to copy and paste the graph. Okay, we're just going to add to it. Okay, so according to the empirical rule, 68% is between -1 and 1, so this piece here. And since it's symmetrical, then what do we know? We know that from 0 to 1, we know how much percent is in between this piece here. Come on, draw. Oh, I don't know why it's not. Okay, let's just do these lines instead. Okay, so again, between -1 and 1, there's 68%, but since the curve is symmetrical, that means 34% is between -1 and 0, and 34% is between 0 and 1. %. So using these two things, we should be able to figure out what's left over. If this entire right side of the curve is 50% and from 0 to 1 is 34%, we want to know over 1. So that's my hint. You should be able to figure it out.